Welcome to This Explainer. Today, we're unpacking how what's on your plate literally shows up right on your face. We spend so much time and money obsessing over what we put on our skin, but the latest clinical research makes it undeniably clear. A healthy complexion actually starts from within. So let's just dive right into this massive question, the one that frustrates so many of us dealing with inflammatory conditions like acne and rosacea. Can your diet actually cure your skin? For years, this food-skin link was treated as a bit of a myth, right? Or at least highly debated. But today, we're looking at hard, cold data. Data proving your diet isn't just some minor factor. It can literally be the root cause of your skin's distress. Or, on the flip side, the ultimate cure. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll cover 1. The diet-skin connection, 2. Identifying your food triggers, 3. The Mediterranean skin savior, 4. Rebuilding the skin barrier, and finally, your inside-out action plan. All right, starting with Section 1, the diet-skin connection. Let's look at a recent clinical study from MDPI. This wasn't just a survey asking people how they felt. This controlled MDPI study mapped detailed food diaries against actual blood work and dermatological severity. And wow, the data on acne is striking. Indulging in dairy and processed carbs spikes a hormone called IGF-1. Now, why does that matter to us? Well, IGF-1 acts like an internal switch. Once flipped, it leads directly to excess oil production, which scientists call seborrhea, and clogged pores known as follicular hyperkeratosis. Basically, when you drink milk or eat refined sugars, you're signaling your body to produce the exact perfect storm for an acne breakout. The lab analysis totally backed this up, showing patients with frequent dairy intake had significantly elevated levels of this specific hormone. Moving on to Section 2, identifying your food triggers. It's time to find what causes your specific flare-ups. You might think, okay, bad food causes bad skin universally, right? But the clinical data shows it's actually highly personalized. While acne absolutely thrives on sugar and milk, rosacea is uniquely aggravated by vasodilating items. Think things like wine or cinnamaldehyde, which is found in certain spices. For rosacea patients, the triggers are usually things that cause your blood vessels to dilate. Wine is a massive, widely recognized trigger for sure, but patients also report flare-ups from citrus fruits and spicy foods. That compound I mentioned, cinnamaldehyde, it literally triggers sensory nerves to cause a red inflammatory response. So understanding your specific condition is step 1 to knowing exactly what to cut from your fridge. By crunching all this dietary data, researchers developed these clinical nutrition scores. And what they found was just staggering. Scoring low on the study's acne nutrition score increases your clinical risk of severe acne by, wait for it, 14.5 times. 14.5. That's not just a slight bump. That is a massive, mathematically proven vulnerability that is entirely dictated by what you're eating. And it's a similar story for rosacea. A poor diet increases your risk of rosacea by 5.5 times. This just proves that bad dietary habits are massive internal triggers that we simply cannot ignore anymore. Consuming processed meats, fried potatoes, pounding back excessive alcohol, these things predictably and reliably fuel the fire of rosacea. But hey, the takeaway here is actually super empowering. By controlling what you eat, you drastically control your risk. Which brings us nicely to Section 3, the Mediterranean skin saver. Let's talk about the ultimate protector. So if we're tossing out all these inflammatory foods, what are we replacing them with? Well, the clinical data points straight to the Mediterranean diet as the ultimate protector. It naturally avoids those inflammatory spikes caused by heavy meat, cheese, and alcohol. Patients who frequently ate vegetables, legumes, oily fish, olive oil, and nuts, they showed a remarkably decreased risk for both acne and rosacea. It turns out this ancient, time-tested way of eating perfectly balances your body's internal environment. In fact, the researchers specifically noted that adhering to a Mediterranean diet appears to be highly beneficial for both acne and rosacea. Why? Because this specific diet acts as an internal savior. It supplies vital omega-3s and probiotics, directly linking a healthy gut to a clear, glowing complexion. Foods like fatty fish and walnuts give you this amazing systemic anti-inflammatory effect. It literally calms your skin from the inside out. When your gut microbiome is balanced by all that Mediterranean fiber and nutrients, it drastically reduces the systemic inflammation that causes those frustrating facial flare-ups. Let's shift gears to Section 4, rebuilding the skin barrier. Now we're fortifying our external defense.
Look, it's one thing to calm the inflammation on the inside, right? But we absolutely must fortify our outside walls too to keep irritants out and moisture locked in. Think of your skin cells as bricks. Acylceramides are the crucial mortar holding all those bricks together so your skin doesn't get fragile and reactive. If that mortar starts to crumble, you get what's called transepidermal water loss. That leaves your skin dry, flaky, and just wildly susceptible to the environment. And the absolute key ingredient your body needs to manufacture this mortar, linoleic acid, which is an omega-6 fatty acid. Here's the catch, though. Our bodies cannot produce these essential fats on their own. We have to actively source these 3 omegas both topically and nutritionally. Omega-3s, which you get from fish oil and walnuts, those are your soothing, anti-inflammatory peacekeepers. Meanwhile, omega-6, specifically that linoleic acid from sunflower and safflower oils, that's your firm structural builder for those ceramides we just talked about. And finally, omega-9, like the oleic acid and olive oil, provides awesome general hydration and support. You need all 3 of these working together for a truly resilient skin barrier. And you've got to see this data disparity. It is genuinely shocking. Acne-prone skin is completely starving for omega-6, dropping the barrier's structural mortar to a dangerously low 6%. 6%! Compare that to 41% in healthy skin. When your skin lacks this linoleic acid, its barrier becomes totally compromised, making it incredibly difficult to heal from breakouts. This is exactly why aggressive acne treatments that just strip the skin often make things so much worse. You aren't replacing the mortar that's fundamentally missing. All right, let's tie this all together in Section 5, your inside-out action plan. Time to attack the problem. Knowing the complex biochemistry is awesome, but application is absolutely everything. So here is your strict 3-step roadmap. Step 1, minimize those dietary triggers. Cut the dairy and sugar if you have acne, or the wine and spices if you have rosacea. Step 2, eat fatty fish or walnuts regularly to flood your body with internal anti-inflammatory omegas. And step 3, apply omega-rich cold-pressed oils to damp skin every single day. This delivers that linoleic acid directly to the stratum corneum, bypassing your digestive system entirely to repair that mortar right on contact. But listen, consistency is everything here. Skin barrier repair requires extreme patience as we rebuild that ideal lipid matrix of ceramides, cholesterol, and free fatty acids. Expect to wait 3 to 4 weeks for visible improvements and up to 3 months if your barrier is severely damaged. Remember, it took time for your skin barrier to degrade, and it's going to take time to rebuild it. Stick to the Mediterranean diet, stay consistent with your omega applications, and just give your cellular turnover the month or more it really needs to show you those glowing results. Ultimately, every single bite you take and every single drop of serum you apply, it all counts. You have the power to influence your hormones, lower your inflammation, and rebuild your skin's defenses. So ask yourself, are you feeding your skin the essential building blocks, or are you just fueling the fire? What are you going to change today to finally cure your complexion? Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer, and I will see you next time.